see out here, street style, it's everything. Let's show them who's in charge. It's the takeover.
They call me FLACKO and don't play no more. That Drake and you bandana on my head. Ain't no strings up on my legs.
I'd rather put money on my grandmother.
I ain't ducking money, I ain't ducking bullets either. I ain't ducked short since I became a vegan. Probably ducked season, tried to pay before the season. Probably ducked off in a quiet place with your breezy. Proud of shades, probably why you couldn't see him.
Man, you driving like you stole it. I like your style.
I would like to dedicate to the scar on my face. All the stars in the globe. Where does your scar face?
That's how you do it? See, I was rooting for you too, man. You made me proud.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome week 9 of Rocket Underground. I will be your host this evening with Sabiaki. Joining me in the box tonight is Panda. Panda, how are you?
I'm doing quite well. How are you doing yourself, Wasabi?
Oh, living the fine life as always. Tonight we have 2 matchups by actually the same franchises. First, we're going to go into the AL round, the Apprentice League, where the Barbarians will be taking on the Paladins.
Nice. Yeah, I definitely think that will be a good matchup between both of these teams. I think that, both teams, looking at their players, Barbarians having Static, Messi, and Stowe, and Paladins having Crimson Wrath and 76, 876. I'm not saying that the front of his name.
The 76
yeah.
and Crimson Wrath tonight. Absolutely. We are getting into the midst of playoffs, so every series, every game, everything leading up to the end of week 10 matters to these teams, whether or not they get a playoff spot or whether or not they're going to be able to lock themselves or solidify themselves into the spot that they already are. In the case of the Barbarians, they are already locked in for a playoff spot. Currently, they are in the running for the number 1 seed overall. And they are in a 3-way tie with the Beast and the Warlocks for that spot. Beast and Warlocks are also playing this weekend, so potentially there could be a 2-way tie for the number 1 seat. But again, we won't know until the weekend ends. But again, Barbarians are definitely locked in for playoff contention. Their counterparts tonight, the Paladins, however, are fighting to stay in the 2nd spot in the Dungeon Division. Paladins are not locked in for playoffs. So, like I said, every game leading up, is a good way for them to solidify a spot into playoffs. It is not necessary for them to win this series tonight. But, I mean, again, their chances of staying in that 2nd spot and getting into the playoffs from the Dungeon Division, does slighten. They do have a very small lead over the Goblins, and the Goblins are playing the last place team in Apprentice League, the Undead, this weekend. So possibly some easy games there for the Goblins, unless the Undead, wake up and do something surprising. But yeah, Paladins definitely looking to get some games tonight. Barbarians, like I said, already in playoffs. Hope they come out swinging, though. I don't want them to take that lax approach. But, I'm expecting to see a very, very, very good matchup tonight. I don't. How do you take in this, Panda?
I think that I like what you said. I hope that the Barbarians don't take that lax, whatever approach to this series, because, just because you're locked into the playoffs does not absolutely mean that, you shouldn't take this seriously, or you shouldn't try and get the biggest lead possible, because, and anything could happen. Also, you could get a bounty on your head, which would be pretty cool. Anyway, we are going to go into game number 1 of series number 1 and start us off on a kickoff towards the side of the Paladins.
Yes, Paladins are in blue, Barbarians in the white, silver, majestic color. That is their blacklist armor or battle axes. As 76 is going to kick it down into Barbarian territory. Stowe's going to pick it up out of the corner, gets it past one, trying to get it past Crimson. Crimson's going to kick it high into the corner. Messi misses the touch off the wall. Stowe is there to pick it up, ball floating about midfield. Static Messi now trying to get the ball deep into Paladin territory, looking for Stowe across field. He's going to play the passive game here. Stowe's going to rush in. Got both defenders to bite. Ball floating in front of the net. Static is up for the open shot. Goal one goes to the Barbarians. 4:09 left in the game.
Absolutely. That is a great shot coming out from the Barbarians and coming out from Static Messi. Just a great passing play coming out, and that's a great start for the Barbarians. You know, they're coming out hot, they're coming out swinging, they're definitely coming out on that offense. They do not want to just be a pushover this series.
Yeah, definitely want to assert their dominance, show why they should be the #1 seed overall. As we're saying that, Stowe's going to pick it up, push it back down into the defense. Got both of the Paladins kind of biting, and Stowe's just causing a little chaos back there, able to work it around both the defenders, splits them off the back wall, and takes it in for the goal. Oh no, Static came in and stole it from Stowe. Barbarians are up 2-0.
That is absolutely amazing coming out from the Barbarians. This is, you know, what we were wanting to see coming out from them, getting that offensive pressure, getting that, you know, those shots on target, showing that they are a playoff ready team and that they are not one to just, you know, wait till the playoffs to show what they got. And that's a great passing play from Static Messi over to Stowe, just kind of cutting it around.
Yeah, I like that he's playing that bounce dribble. I really like that. I've actually been watched a couple of videos on that. I've been trying that in free play on my own accord. You know, driving on a diagonal, keeping the ball close to him, able to bounce it at any point, you know, just not the normal flick to get it over him. I really don't know what the Paladins are doing. They seem a little jumbled up, a little out of array, a lot of double commits happening. Barbarians are just picking this defense apart systematically. I mean, and they're doing it with what looks like such ease. As I say that, Crimson, tired of getting bullied, gets a nice demo on Static. They try to make a push. Stowe clears it out past midfield. Static, after respawn, comes down, tracks it into the corner, puts it high off the backboard. Stowe comes in, shot just a little high. Ball's in front of the net. Unfortunately, Paladins not able to pick it up for the fast counterattack. They are going to dump it to the sidewall, though. Now we have both teams kind of playing that midfield line. Static's going to come in, get control of the ball, looking to get past the defense, gets the flick and the goal.
That's an absolute crazy flick coming up from Static. That is just an amazing play. Just catch the ball. He had little boost, so he just caught the ball perfectly and just flicked it over the final defender into the net. Barbarians up by 4. They're definitely showing a dominant game #1 and trying to shut out the Paladins before even the rest of the series continues.
Yeah, definitely. They're coming out here, making a stand, you know, putting all the cards on the table. This is what I wanted to see from the Barbarians. I'm glad that they didn't come out here playing lax, you know, waiting to see what the Paladins were going to do. No, they came out fighting. They were aggressive, had their battle cries and their thundering voices heard as they try to get a nice shot opportunity there. It is broken away by Crimson Wrath. He's going to pick it up midfield, take it into Barbarian territory, looking to get it past Static. Cannot. 76 comes in just a little shy, 50 away. Stowe's going to pick it up midfield, put a shot on net, cleared back into Barbarian territory by Crimson. Static now trying to play it out of his own corner. The 76 is going to pick it up, cannot get past Static Messi as he's got a 50 in his favor. Crimson Wrath forced to come in, take it out of the corner, tries to beat Stowe. Stowe coming in quick, gets the ball out past midfield, gets it over the Paladin defender. Ball now kicked wide off the backboard out to about midfield, looking to see who picks it up. It is the Barbarians coming off the corner. Nice shot attempt by Static, hits just a little on the near post. Ball kicked out to Stowe. The 76 able to get it by, and Static Messi comes in and misses, completely misses on that. The 76 going to pick it up for the easy goal, putting the Paladins on the board with their first goal with 107 left in this game.
Absolutely. I think that, it's possible for the Paladins to come back. It's good for the Barbarians to come out swinging and have a lot of that offense, but you don't want to get too confident. You don't want to, start going for things that maybe you don't need to, or start, forcing touches, because then that, forces misses. And that was a great offensive opportunity by Stowe, but he just barely misses it as it floats across the Paladins' net. But nonetheless, they're still up by 3 with 40 seconds left. So that's not really too much of a detriment for them so far.
Yep, Barbarians just taking their time. Like I said earlier, they're not really doing anything flashy. They are working very cohesively. And I think that's why it looks so effortlessly that they are picking apart the Paladin defense. The 76 goes in for a shot, but Stowe's going to save it and kick it away to Static. Static's going to try and get a cheeky shot on net. 76 comes in, gets a great save. Looks like Static came back in, cleaned up his own mess, put another shot on target. We have the Paladins now working their way down into the corner of the Barbarians' territory. They both double committed. Seconds left on the clock. Is Stowe going to put it in the open net? He's not. He's going to drive it flat line, and the Barbarians are going to take game number 1, 4-1.
That was definitely a dominant game coming out from the Barbarians. They had good passing plays, but I also, it was a little worrying towards the final minute and a half of game number 1, because I feel like that they were making unnecessary commits when they didn't have to, and also there are a couple of those ball misses that were just quite unfortunate that one of them led to a goal from the Paladins. So I really hope that doesn't continue throughout the rest of the series if they're hoping to close it out, because then that's going to lead to more open nets for the Paladins, and it just wouldn't look good.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, like I said, it's not that the Paladins are completely out of the playoff contention. It's that every game is, one game closer to you getting to that playoff spot. We did have our great stat guy, Big Country. He gave us a couple situations that, the Paladins may find themselves in, depending on what happens with tonight's games and what happens with the Goblins. I mean, being a Rocket League player myself, playing competitive Rocket League, I don't like leaving the fate of my team and my organization to some other team, whether they win or lose or how well they do in their game. If I'm going to lose or if I'm going to win, I want to make sure that it's solidified by my own hands. So the Paladins playing a little lackluster, a little out of focus, a lot of double commits, and a lot of defensive mistakes that afforded the Barbarians to capitalize. The more that they keep hindering themselves, the more that they're relying on another team to, basically shit the bed so they can get into the playoffs. And that's not really a good position that you want to put yourself in. We're about 50 seconds into game number 2. Barbarians are working the ball out of their own corner after a very nice push by the Paladins. They have seemed to, get the first game jitters out of the way, most say. Great clear out by Crimson Wrath as Stowe's going to try and put that back in. He gets it past both defenders. Unfortunately, Static just wasn't there in time to get it back in. He is going to try and play this off of his backboard as the Paladins are now on their offensive push. The 76 going to put one across the net. Stowe's going to clear it out high, chase it down. Messi gets a demo on Crimson.
Oh.
Stowe couldn't get the 50 over 76. Ball goes into Barbarian territory. You got Stowe and Messi going to try and clear it out past midfield by themselves. Panda, what are you seeing in this second game that leads you to believe that the Paladins may have read some light into themselves?
I'm definitely seeing some more cohesion between the Paladin players, and I'm also seeing that, they're playing a lot smarter. They're playing a lot less risky and with a lot less mistakes. And that wasn't even a mistake play. It's just a simple mind game. First, the 76 got faked out by Messi, and then Messi forced a commit out of Crimson Wrath via faking the demo, and so he had to try and flip out of the way, and the ball just rolled into the back of the net. That is That's one of those plays. I mean, you can see as high as professional play. So that was very smart and very just ahead of his rank
Well,
of Messi to do that.
I mean, it was a great play by Messi. Like, don't get me wrong. He completely messed the demo, though. It did end up working in his favor because, I mean, the choke from the glizzy that just happened in that net was that it definitely didn't need to happen. I mean, he missed the demo completely. He had the time to clear that ball, but Static coming in kind of shook him a little bit. He froze, and they were able to get it around them. Again, we're talking 10 seconds just went by, and the Barbarians already have their second goal with a nice passing play from Static to Stowe. Both Paladin defenders sitting in the net, neither one of them able to touch the ball. 2:21 left, game number 2. Kickoff in favor of the Paladins as ball goes into Barbarian territory. Crimson gets a nice touch off kickoff, goes backboard, follows it up, stuns the defender, and is able to put it in. Great shot. Great shot.
That was definitely excellent coming out from Crimson. I really want to see some more offense coming out from Paladins and some better offense coming out from Paladins. And definitely some better defense. I mean, you saw both defenders just sitting in the back of the net looking like they were about to sit down and do some Netflix and chill. Like, it was just rough.
Yeah, definitely. Stowe working the ball in Paladin territory. Crimson going to clear it out midfield. Static going to kick it to the opposite side, running along the midfield line. Looking to get a little touch on that, but Crimson's going to come in. Play it off the backboard, gets behind Stowe, and ties the game!
Nice. That's just nice.
Wow.
Coming out of Crimson, Stowe kind of froze there a little bit and decided to just not go for the ball. You ideally want to try and hit that ball and clear it out into your corner and not wait for the prime opportunity as it's floating in front of your net. But regardless, Paladins come back and tie up the game with little over a minute and a half remaining.
Yeah, definitely not out of this yet. Barbarians trying to work the ball out of their own zone. 76 misses the flip off the sidewall. Static's going to put a nice little pop shot. It's going to hit post. Stowe comes in, hits it high. Did Static come back around in time? No, he came in a little late, kicked the ball out of the corner. Crimson able to get it past Stowe. We have a 2-on-1. Ooh. Static with the save of the game so far as he stops that nice combo play from going into the back of the net. We now have the Barbarians making an offensive push, but it is quickly cleared away, and Static has to get to the ball quickly to get it back into Paladin territory. Crimson going to keep it at the midfield line, rotates around. Stowe going to put it back to about the midway to Paladin goal. Now Stowe playing it out of his own corner. 76 coming in, just going to kick it into the corner, looking for Crimson to pick it up mid. Both defenders go and play the ball. I swear to God, Crimson is writing up some crazy plays right now. Their patience on this man. He floats it up knowing that they were both going to commit for it and just comes in and puts it on the back door. Both of them already committed to the front post. Nobody getting to that ball. Paladins take the first lead of this series. 32 seconds left. Kickoff in favor of the Barbarians. Cleared away by Crimson. Back into Barbarian territory. He's looking to play it out of the corner. Gets a touch. Coming across the midfield. Stowe does spin and gets the flip. Able to recover and get the second flip. Crimson coming in. Tries to get a shot to put a 2-goal lead on, but goes slightly wide. Now the Barbarians are working the ball in Paladin territory. We have both defenders. Nice cut. Crimson gets it past Stowe. I don't think they're going to be able to do it as the ball's going to hit the ground and Paladins take game number 2. Wow, Panda, what do you think of the performance from the Paladins on that one? I would say a couple minutes in, kind of had the favor of the Barbarians, but I think something snapped or clicked or they woke up or maybe they took the glizzies out of their mouths and they just decided to play some Rocket League, but wow.
I don't know. I think Barbarians took a page out of the Paladins book, and that defense towards the halfway mark of the game just kind of started lacking there. I mean, defenders getting the first shot coming out from Crimson, where he just shot it under the defender. That was just a good, like a greatly placed shot to just place it under. But the other two goals were just, the last one back deciding to not go, or just a bad clear on a double commit. It's just like those are not defensive mistakes you want to be seeing out of the Barbarians for a playoff team. I mean, it's great for the Paladins, but I don't know. It was just some iffy defensive play coming out from the Barbarians towards the second half.
I mean, again, it is Apprentice League. There are going to be some mishaps. They're not going to be perfect 100% of the time. But I think the Paladins did a really good job at capitalizing on the few mistakes that the Barbarians had. I think the Barbarians, after the first goal, it kind of threw them off a little bit because from that first goal that the Paladins scored, it seemed that they were able to take control of the game a little bit, play at their pace, and they were just able to meticulously pick apart the Barbarians, and they solidified themselves a win. Now, Static and Stowe, after that, I would say, rug burn of a defeat, decided to come out here 3 seconds into game number 3 and just score the first goal to put themselves up. They're not taking any chances, apparently, and they want to get everything into the back of the net that they possibly can while there's still time on the clock.
Are you able to take a breath there? That was a long sentence. Absolutely, the Barbarians definitely try and pick up where they left off partway into game number 2 and game number 1, trying to shut out the Paladins. But right now, the Paladins still not having any of it, as they are trying to go into offense themselves, and Crimson trying to punish up, but just slightly goes over the ball, and 76 just bangs it over the crossbar, leaving Messi and Stowe for a great counterattack, and Messi is able to secure the goal, and now Barbarians up by 2.
Yeah, I don't know what the rotations of the Paladins so far are doing. Both kind of seem to be getting in each other's way or ending up on the same side of the field. I don't know if that's a communication problem or they're both just trying to force this game. It seems like every time I go and say something like that, though, Crimson deciding to put the game on his back again, gets a nice 50 and just forces that into the net to cut the lead down a little bit there. 4:15 left in game number 3.
Absolutely. I mean, just down by 1 goal, 4 minutes left. Absolutely enough time. I have seen bigger comebacks in the last 2 weeks of casting. It's been absolutely amazing, as 76 definitely threw a glizzy of a ball into the back of the Barbarians net. Absolutely beautiful. Just amazing open net off the pass from Crimson. And now the Paladins tied with the Barbarians with 4 minutes and 4 seconds still remaining.
Yeah, definitely a great goal by the Glizzy. Kind of looked like he was throwing a hot dog down a hallway with the amount of space that he had to put the ball into the net. Barbarians now looking at a tied situational game as the Paladins are on the offensive again, and the 76 able to find the back of the net again, putting the Paladins up, kind of looking a little bit like last game. They took the lead. Wonder if they can keep it. Barbarians looking to close this out, stay in top, trying to get that number 1 seed. Like I was talking about earlier, the situations that the Paladins find themselves in, if they lose and the Goblins lose, the winner of next week's match would advance to playoffs as the second slot for the Dungeon Division. If the Paladins win and the Goblins lose, then the Paladins obviously will advance to the playoffs. If the Paladins win and the Goblins win, again, winner of next week's match would advance to the playoffs, again, as the second slot for the Dungeon. And if the Paladins lose and the Goblins win, still, the winner of next week's match would advance to the second slot for the Dungeon Division. So, again, it's, more or less, they want to win. If they win, they basically go to the playoffs.
Yeah, and, I got a question. So, that's a great shot over 76 from Stowe tying up the match. But I still got a question, So if both, let's say Goblins and Paladins win their match next week, would there be a tiebreaker? Like to decide who goes to the playoffs, or are they playing each other next week?
I'm pretty sure tiebreakers are decided by whoever had the most divisional wins. So, I guess I'm assuming it would go by that. Who won, against themselves, who won the most against playing against each other. I think, I could be wrong. I mean, there is some other ways for the Paladins and the Goblins to both make it in, but that would have to involve some things with the Shadow and the Mythic and the Vipers and the Jungle divisions. And again, whatever happens between the Goblins and the Undead on Saturday night. Vipers and Mustangs are in a must-win situation, kind of coming up this week. Actually, I think that's tomorrow night or maybe Sunday night. Not really sure. I think I should know as a Viper, but I'm oblivious to the world. But I'm pretty sure if it had to come down to whether or not, I think it would be whoever won, beat the other team the most over the course of the year. I think how it always comes down to. If that's tied out, I don't know how they break it down. Maybe by how many goals each team scored, or assists or something. I don't know. I'm sure that would be a league ops decision, way above my pay grade. As we're trying to keep some action going on here. It's been a little stale, so we figured we'd lighten you up with a little future seeing of the Paladins' foreseeable future. And as we say that, the Barbarians blunder, and the Paladins are able to capitalize and take the lead yet again with 1 minute and 9 seconds.
Great shot coming out from the Paladins. Kind of a blunder, like you said, on defense from the Barbarians, but it was really good from Crimson to know to leave the ball for 76. Most people, even in my rank, would be like, oh, ball in front of net, let me just discombobulate my car in order to score it. But Messi's scoring one back and is going to keep the Barbarians in this game.
Yeah, it's funny that we could go minutes without the Barbarians being able to put a goal in the net, but the second that the Paladins do, it's like they get a little jealous and they want a little praise of their own, and they're able to tie it up and capitalize on what they should be able to capitalize on through the course of the entirety of the game. But yeah, here we are again with a tied game, and it also has come to my attention that ties are series scores, game difference, head-to-head record, and then if they have to, they would do a best of one.
Interesting. That's a good play coming out from Barbarians, with Messi putting themselves in the lead with 30 seconds left. They really want us to focus on them. Thank you, replay from Rocket League, to not show me what happened during that play. I think Crimson just touched it, or Stove touched it over Crimson just barely, and was able to get it to Static, and Static was able to put it away. I think that is what happened.
I believe so.
I don't know, some ball went in net.
Player touch ball went in net. Barbarians are now up. That's pretty much the end of what happened in that playthrough, as the Paladins are trying to get this game tied up. The 76 trying to get the ball across net, blocked by the Barbarians, kicked deep into Paladin territory, unable to touch it are the Paladins, as the Barbarians are going to find themselves 2 goals up with 1 second left in game number 3. Yeah, Panda, that what are you thinking about that goal there? Luck, skill, or the grace of psionics?
I think a little bit of both. Or of the first two. I think it was a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill. It was a great demo coming out from Messi to clear out the back line, and Stowe with a great flick, but it was also just, a little bit of unfortunate boost management coming out from 76 to not be able to have the boost to save the ball after being demoed. But, that's the way the game plays sometimes, and either way, Barbarians up by 2 in the series, finish the game up by 2. Looks like 2 is going their way today.
Yep, 2-2-2 is the number to be. Nice performance by Stowe and Static there. 7 shots. Paladins had more shots, 11 shots, just unable to find the back of the net as much as the Barbarians. Um, Personally, if I had to say, I would say Stowe and Static are playing more cohesively together than the 76 and Crimson are right now. Which is kind of the reason why I would say that they're being a little bit more dominant on the field, or why it would look like the Barbarians are being a little bit more dominant out on the field. Because they're working together, the nice passing plays. They're not up each other's behinds, giving each other space to work, to cook, as the children may say.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I went there. I'll throw an old man joke in there every once in a while. I don't care. I mean, this beard ain't saying that I'm 20, so um but it's just stuff like that. When you're playing frantic, when you're not working together, it's really easy for the other team to just pick apart your flaws and work the game the way that they want to play. They're playing at their own pace here, and and I feel for the Paladins because game 2 showed us that they have the capability and the persistence to win games against this Barbarian team. I'd just like to see a little bit more of a better performance from them. And as I say that, the Barbarians are able to capitalize on the overreach of the Paladins, both double committing on the ball in the same corner. And Stowe and Static are able to, stop the Paladin attack, get it past both of them because, again, they're in the corner, and easily drive the ball into the back of the net for the first goal of the game.
Absolutely. And now Paladins 76 with a great shot. That was just an absolute banger from behind half field right there after rolling up the wall, just bang over both defenders. That was just a great shot coming out from 76 to bring the Paladins back into this game. And, I honestly hope that we see a game 5.
Absolutely. I would totally love to see a game 5. But I'm not so sure that the Paladins are going to be able to live up to that to help the situation.
Oh, I don't know.
I would say that I do know.
Oh, wait.
Huh?
What? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always biased judging these games because I absolutely hate everybody equally. So there's no favor. But I mean, I have played with Stowe over the course of a few years now, and I know what he's capable of, and he is absolutely able to put the team on his back if he needs to solidify whatever he needs to do. And just having a great teammate like Static, I mean, he's just letting Stowe go in, do what he's got to do, and Stowe's just kicking it out, putting Static in great opportunities to score goals as the Barbarians again get another goal, putting themselves up by 2 with 4 minutes left in this game 4.
We'll call that faking right there. But I mean, hey, the Paladins in game number 2, they look to be the weaker team in game number 2 for the first half. And then after that first half, they came back and won by 1 goal. So, I mean, it's not absolutely possible that the pace of the game could absolutely change, but it's not looking like it from the Barbarians putting down another goal. That's just a yikes to see. Great passing play between the Barbarians. It was a good passing play, but Paladins kind of just fumbling a little bit on defense.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the Barbarians were more than capable of putting goals in the net anytime that they want. I don't know. I don't know if they were playing lax or if they just decide to kick it up a notch or not, but they've been the aggressors through the entirety of this game. I don't know if they're just trying to close this series out, being on game point, probably not trying to let the Paladins breathe any more light into this series. As I say that, 76 trying to get a shot on net. It is cleared out by the Barbarians, however, put back in to the Barbarian zone is Crimson Wrath. Had nobody on the opposite side for that ball to go to. Static's going to pick it up, get it out to Stowe. Stowe's going to push it into Paladin zone. Static going to play it off the back wall. Stowe going to try to come in for a shot. Hits the near post. Bounces out into the reach of Crimson. And Crimson's going to split the defense and find a goal of his own.
We're coming to that halfway mark. We're in game number 2. The game pace shifted over towards the Paladins. We might see that again. May never know, man. I mean, they're down by 2, but there's still half a game left. So they've been known for the comebacks, and I've seen comebacks similar happen. So, you know, it's never over until that ball reaches the ground and the clock hits 0.
Crimson tries to take a shot at the far post. Picked up by Stowe. Brought down into Paladin zone. They got a couple demos going on here. One from each team as 76 trying to work the ball across the midfield. Ends up getting demoed by Static. Stowe going to beat Crimson in the corner. Take it around. That angle was tight. And Stowe's going to find Stowe's going to find himself another goal. Putting the Barbarians up by 3 with 1:59 left. Game number 4.
That was just a great shot from Stowe. I mean, you know, you can do that really any ranking. If you can hit an angle like that on a shot, and that's just going to go in, as that's just also going to go in from Crimson. That was a interesting shot. Definitely.
Nice play by Crimson. Hits it high off the ceiling. Yep. Gets a nice little floater. Honestly, I thought it was longer, so I thought it was going to hit above the crossbar just a little bit. Kind of bounce up and down in front of the net, but I mean, that optical illusion of that waterfall shot, you know, put the ball right in the net, cutting the lead down a little bit. Paladins still, down by 2. 1:45 left. They're definitely not out of this game, but they need to work together a little bit more if they want to find some success and bring this to a game number 5. Messi trying to bring this ball into Paladin territory, and Stowe's going to have to help him along. Kicks it into the corner, looking to hit midfield. Static goes up, beats both defenders, and they're going to find themselves another goal.
That's a yikes coming out from the side of the Paladins. 76 just not able to read that ball properly. Was kind of awkward, and Crimson just didn't jump for it. It was a great pass from Stowe and a great shot from Messi, so they're still playing great together. The Paladins, their defense is kind of looking like it was back in game number 1, a little bit lackluster, which is what lost them that game, and it might be what loses them the series in this game.
Yeah, it just seems every time they get themselves in a good situation or cut the lead down just a little bit, they do something a little naughty, and the Barbarians slap them on the wrist for it and solidify it by taking another goal.
Yeah.
You know, that 3-goal lead that they just had is now a 4-goal lead, and there's only about a minute left. It's not that it's impossible, but it's probably improbable.
Probably improbable for the probabilities of the probs.
Of the possibilities.
Yeah. Paladins tried taking a shot, but it got sent away. And Paladins still trying to continue some form of offense. They have 40 seconds. It can happen as Stowe just hits that off of the corner right there. And Paladin's still putting on some form of offense, but Static is able to catch it, and now on the Paladin side, just floating. It's probably going to end up in their net. It does, of course. 5-goal lead, 24 seconds. I think we can say game number 4.
The Paladins can win!
But not... Okay, but like...
If Psionic himself comes and blesses the field... I mean, again, it's not impossible. It's just probably not going to happen. But for what it's worth, I really do hope in the last 20 seconds, Paladins put everything that they
that just sealed it. Nope, I'm calling it. That just sealed it right there.
Missed opportunity there from the Paladins as Stowe and Static are going to play the Todd Gurley of the Rocket League world and not score the open net. You know, very respectable. Especially with the that MVP incentive on the line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So great game from the Barbarians. The Paladins did have game number 2 where we all kind of thought that they might be able to turn this series around, but unfortunately the Barbarians were having none of that. Yeah, so congratulations to the Barbarians. That only helps you to put yourself further into that number 1 seed going into playoffs. And Paladins, your future now rides in the hands of the Goblins.
And that is a yikes to see.
Yeah, I never want to leave my hands or my dreams, goals, or aspirations in the grubby little hands of those Goblin Steelers.